What's the kid's name that was dancing?
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Who's gonna tell? We don't have a theme song yet.
Dwayne. Okay. Hi, everybody. Yay, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the things that we've been doing and consuming pop culture wise, and reading and listening and watching TV, because we do that often. Just a little catch up with each other. I mean, we consume most of our media, I think, together. There's things that we don't consume together, and I guess it also kind of lets anybody who comes across this video know a little bit more about us and our interests. And I like to call this little segment right here, "What You Doing?"
Graphic somewhere.
From Isabella from Phineas and Ferb, because we like Phineas and Ferb. Yeah. So we'll start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dwayne. What have you been doing? What have you been what have you been watching and reading and that stuff?
So this, first of all, before we get into that, I want to say thanks everyone to watch the first video. Mm-hmm. We're very surprised about the views we got, even though it's a new channel. Nothing really was shared or anything publicity wise. That's somebody's fault, and it's not her. But I just want to see how it did on its own, and it did better than I thought it was going to do. Actually, as of this recording, it has over 180 views in the time we recorded it. 3 subs, but those might be ours. But anyway, that being said, we appreciate the support. I think because Survivor was new and it was the topic of conversation at the point, that's why I got the views we got. So thank you very much. Much appreciated there. As far as what I've consumed this week, well, basically some of the same stuff you've consumed, but we'll see where we're at there. Mm-hmm. This week was wrestling week for sure. We were here watching wrestling yesterday, on Monday as well, on Friday. Although we turned SmackDown off for something that she's probably going to get into that we consume this week. I'll let her get into that, and we can get into that. But yeah, Monday's always Raw for us. Sometimes we consume it, or paying attention. Sometimes we consume it, we're like, okay, when's this over kind of thing. Because sometimes the Netflix Raws kind of go better or worse.
WWE Raw is what he's referring to.
Oh, thank you.
I don't want to be like, we're Raw, what? I'm like...
Thank you for clarifying. That's usually the beginning of the week. I'll let her say what we consume Tuesday, and I can jump in there. Wednesday, it was also on Wednesdays, right? This past week?
Yeah.
Because it was the first week of it. She'll get into that. She'll explain what I'm talking about. And then, it was the thing she's going to talk about we consumed. It was most of the week because it was premiere. Which that's the first time I watched it. Like I said, she'll mention what I'm referring to. Then over the weekend, Saturday morning, and today is when this video is uploaded. Sunday and Saturday morning was tennis day, a big day for me because I've been watching tennis since I was a kid, playing since I was a teenager. It's a sport that I love to consume, and it's a French Open time. Saturday morning was this women's final between Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. 1 and 2 in the world, and it was a fantastic final. We both wanted Coco Gauff to win, and congratulations to Coco Gauff.
Go Coco!
Great final. I'll say one thing about it. My opinions are my opinions, but the way Sabalenka came across, saying that if Iga Swiatek was a player on women's side who's won a couple major French Open titles and is one of the best players in the world. Sabalenka said in her press conference that if Iga was in the final against Coco, the Iga would have won, which kind of sounds like sour grapes to me, not giving props to your opponent. And also Coco came out and was very respectful of the answer, saying, I beat Iga before. I beat her in straight sets, so what are you saying? So definitely
Where was Iga at home?
So a bad
Just
look.
like Sabalenka is now.
Ouch. But yeah, like I said, a bad look for Sabalenka to say stuff like that. But again, congratulations to Coco. She handled it with grace, as she always has. And Coco is, already won a couple majors, and she's still very young, so she's got a long way to go. But It's a great look for women's American tennis. Men's American tennis is nowhere to be found. But the women's game and the women's game on the American side for the women, it's always a good thing to see them do that. And then this morning, Saturday night we watched Money in the Bank. I watched the AAA thing a little bit, but
should we do like a little impromptu Money in the Bank review, like a little mini review?
We could.
All right, we can come back to that.
I watched AAA a little bit. The best thing about it was Mr. Iguana, who's going to be used in some capacity. They probably want to market off him and sell plush iguanas, which I will buy one. And then the match between Chad Gable and El Hijo de Vikingo for the AAA title was amazing. So good stuff there. And then Money in the Bank last night. We'll talk about that in a second, and then we'll circle back. And then this morning we consumed. It sounds weird to say consumed. We watched we ate it. We ate it up. I ate it up. The men's final between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. It looked like Sinner was going to win. He was up 2-0. It just looked like it was a routine day. He even had match points later in the set, and Alcaraz came back, and the match was 1 minute shy of 5.5 hours. But at the end of the day, Alcaraz came back from the brink of defeat. I mean, he had so many chances to win this Sinner, and Alcaraz never gave up. He never, he just kept fighting to the very end. That's what this makes the sport so special to watch. It's like you never know what tides are going to turn, twists and turns in a match, and Alcaraz proved that today by winning the match that he looked like he was going to lose. And Alcaraz already has 5 majors, and he's still young. So the game of tennis is in great hands with those two, and other players have to step up. But that's what basically I consumed this week as far as like media. As far as like reading, I'm not much of a reader. But listening wise, I mean, honestly, like I listen to music every now and then when I'm at work. It varies what I listen to. And then I listened to a couple podcasts. Well, the same podcast. It was the Andy Roddick podcast called Served. I listened to his take on a couple things about the French Open, and I also listened to his interview with Andre Agassi, which was pretty interesting to listen to. But yeah, it's hard sometimes to get into that media with work and stuff like that. But that's one of the things I took into this week.
I
don't know.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, so we can get back to Money in the Bank. And let's see. Yeah, Monday, we usually, like you already said, watch WWE wrestling. So that covers for that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, part of Friday night, we watched something that I'll get back to in a few. That requires its own separate review as well, along with the wrestling. And yeah, like here I said, tennis, Money in the Bank. What else have I done this week? Usually if I'm watching something, it's probably like on YouTube, like Disney vlogger content or something, and people vlogging at Disney World and Disneyland, because I'd rather be there with you.
Oh, okay. Clear that up, please.
Of course. And I have been reading. The last book I finished was a book from the author Emily Henry. I love most of her books. I've read most of them, and they're great. This one was called A Great Big Beautiful Life. It's very interesting. I'd probably give it like maybe 3.5, 4 stars.
Doing ratings now?
Something like that.
All right. Don't take her word for it. Ba-dum-bum.
Bow. And now I'm reading, I just started another book called Broken Souls and Bones, I think is what it's called, by L.J. Andrews. It's more of a fantasy book. I want to get back into my fantasy game because I took a little hiatus, because fantasy books sometimes just require more brain power between like memorizing people's names and looking at maps and remembering spells and political stuff sometimes will be in them. So I still haven't finished Onyx Storm. Don't come for me. Come for yourselves. And so I still haven't finished Onyx Storm. I'll come back to that eventually. But I figured maybe this was like a nice little way to kind of get me back into it. I've never read anything by this author, but I heard that her books are great. So, baby steps back into the game after reading nothing but like romance for the last, who knows. Yeah. So which one do you want to cover first? Money in the Bank or reality TV?
I think the reality TV should be second because there's a lot more chunks to cover for that. So we'll go to the Money in the Bank first.
Ooh, I also watched more reality TV. I forgot. I watch a lot of Bravo. So Summer House, they just wrapped up their reunion. It was only 2 parts this time. That was interesting. It was fine. The season was okay. Whatever. It's going to be interesting to see how they take it going forward. Just because they had a few exits. There's people who need to exit. Or at least, I guess, rebrand how they're on the show. Yeah. And then there's another show that started called Next Gen NYC. And I actually got him to watch this with me. And it's basically like kids of different like housewife people and other youngsters in New York City. Yes.
Can I say one thing about that?
Yes.
The only thing I took from that, and I'm going to mention it just once, how do you not wash your hands?
There's a girl in there who don't wash her hands. I was like, oh, this show's going to be
She went into the bathroom and didn't wash her hands. And then she tried to touch someone's face.
And tried to get an attitude when someone was like, don't touch me. Girl, I don't want you to touch me. And she told my son, what happened to my body, my choice?
That's not what that means.
Ma'am, that is not what that means. And you know that's not what it means. You want to be gross? Do that on your own time. Disgusting. No hand sanitizer. Not even one of the little mini ones from Bath and Body Works. Not even like a little Purex. Something. Disgusting.
Gross. Not on camera. Wait till the camera's off.
Okay, let's go to Money in the Bank.
So it was kind of funny how the show started. Not the match itself. The match itself was the Women's Money in the Bank match. The funny thing is they did the whole drone camera pan of the arena when the show started. And Michael Cole's like, we're here at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. We are sold out. And as they panned, you can clearly see a number of seats with nobody in them.
Again, look, we need to learn how to like, well, me, you probably already know how to like insert like GIFs or like memes into videos. I want the one, have you seen before the, I got green beans, potatoes, ram.
Yes.
And that one, and before it's like, look.
Yeah, green beans, potatoes, tomatoes. You made it. Anyway. But yeah, so you blame it on LA traffic.
Yeah.
But it's still bad. Like, you have the first match of the show, and you can clearly see, and like it was weird, they kind of acknowledged it themselves, not directly, but indirectly, because they kept like doing the hard cam shot on the ring, and they kept like zooming out. It showed more seats are missing, so they zoomed in. They did it a couple times. I was like, they clearly know something didn't look right from a visual standpoint of who was not there. I mean, eventually, as the show went on, more seats were filled of the arena, but it just looked bad from the beginning, which I said to her, it wasn't good that you had 2 shows in one day. So it just looked weird with nobody there when the show started.
Yeah. I was like, it's probably the LA traffic. Which I'm like, at this point, I mean, I don't know if people that are local to LA and been to LA before. Those of us who have been to LA know that if you have something that starts at 5, you basically gotta leave your house at like 3. You just have to.
Maybe earlier.
Like, there's something that could be like Google Maps is like, oh, it's 5 minutes away without factoring in time. That means it's 35 minutes away. Yeah. So maybe people just weren't grasping that, which I very well could see, because like these events bring in tourists and stuff. So it's probably somebody with their kids who were like, oh, we can hit up Universal real quick before Money in the Bank. And I was like, bro, what? And now you gotta get from like Hollywood to Inglewood, and they probably got caught up in Harry Potter and everything else, and they were like, oh my god. They're like, we should be fine. We'll be fine.
I'll tell a quick story about that real quick. So when we first started dating and started talking, I lived in California and she was here, and I would talk to her on the way home, driving home from work, and again, she's relating to the traffic, so I lived 11 miles from my job, and it took me an hour and a half to go 11 miles. Like, on the highway I took, the speed limit was 65. I kid you not, my maximum speed at home to go home was 7 miles an hour. 7.
7. So, people probably, maybe they weren't grasping that LA traffic just stinks. But I would just think that, people would know that. Maybe some people don't care about getting there on time. I'm someone who likes to be on time, promptly to things. Early, actually. To live events especially. I don't want to be, coming in while people are already sitting down. I'm like, oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. That makes my anxiety go, up here. I want to be already in my seat with the snacks, ready to go. Nice and comfy, 30 minutes before something starts.
Min. Jeez, I'm trying to think who was in the match yesterday.
Yikes.
So you had the women's Money in the Bank. It was Rhea Ripley, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Naomi,
Roxanne,
very good, and
you already said Rhea.
Yep.
And you said Julia.
Stephanie. I said Stephanie.
Naomi. Roxanne. Oh, yikes.
That's not good that I remember the 6. That's not a good thing. Should I remember the 6th person?
I can look it up.
Let's see. Rhea. This is embarrassing. Rhea, Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie, Naomi, and... Alexa Bliss.
Oh,
Jeez,
yeah.
That's bad by me. So...
Is it bad by you or bad by them?
Me, because I like Alexa Bliss.
Okay, but did they do a good job of, showing us that she was in Money in the Bank?
Yeah. She was actually pretty good last night.
No, I'm talking about of them promoting her in it.
No, it's more about Stephanie and Julia.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I work in business. So
I don't. Match was okay. I don't remember anything too memorable. But the people that I was looking to hopefully win was Naomi, Roxanne, because she went through some trauma. I'm not going to get too much into it, but she had a rough week. And then Stephanie, because they're pushing her to the freaking moon at this point.
To the moon.
To the moon. But I still thought it had been too early for Stephanie to win the Money in the Bank. She just got to the main roster. I mean, they basically plucked her off NXT and inserted her into the Money in the Bank, giving her potential, the chance to win this. The people that I wanted to win, Roxanne, Stephanie, and then the actual winner, Naomi, who's been on a tear lately. Her storyline with Jade and Bianca was definitely a captivating moment for television, for WWE. And then for her to win, I think it shows how much faith they have in Naomi. She's done a really good job lately. And I think that her winning Money in the Bank definitely shows that Naomi's going to be a champion at some point, because they mentioned last night that with the women, on the women's side anyway, 100% of the time, when a women wrestler cashes in, they win the title. So look forward to Naomi to cash in. When is she going to cash in? Who's she going to cash in on? Who knows? But definitely exciting to see Naomi get her chance in the spotlight, because she, with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, those kind of people have been taking the focus off, and Io Sky, it's nice to see Naomi get a chance to shine for a little bit.
Yay! We like Naomi. Woohoo!
From the Funkadactyls to the outhouse to the penthouse.
That's how it works.
All right. Then, a match that was just made earlier in the day at AAA was Octagon Jr. from AAA taking on Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. It wasn't a long match, to say this, so to speak. I think it was just there to highlight Octagon Jr. from AAA against Dom. Dom picked up the win. Again, nothing really surprising there that Dom would win it, but I think it was just a showcase Octagon Jr. In that setting on a bigger stage than it was AAA, it was WWE stage against Dom. And Dom's been killing it. I give Dom all the credit in the world. Dom's been really good for a while now, him being the Intercontinental Champion. Dom's been, it's so funny how the evolution of Dom, basically him getting booed so loudly he couldn't even speak And now, like, he got cheered so loudly at WrestleMania, and everyone loves Dom. And it's crazy the transformation he's gone through since he got there.
Yeah. I mean, having him go heel was a wonderful decision because his, him as a face was kind of just like...
I mean, Mighty Dom.
He's
super heel outfit.
I just got tired of that little, like, hood on his outfit, and he would come out and lose everything. I was like, I don't know, Ray. I don't know. Nepotism crazy.
Nepotism crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. Then the third match was hang on. Wait. I'm getting there. There was 5 matches, correct?
People, we're old. We are old.
Wait a minute. Oh, right. It was Don't Tell Me. Hang on.
Y'all gotta understand, we're old. We got stuff that we're wedding planning right now. Our brains are mush, cooked, smoked, as the kids say.
Who says that?
The kids.
What kids?
The youth.
The youth.
TikTok. You go on there. TikTok.
My phone is charging, so I can't look it up.
They're
Let's
cooked.
see. Women's Money in the Bank. Then Dom versus Octagon Jr.
Oh, it was Becky and Lyra.
Thank you. Becky and Lyra, which I said before, their match at Backlash was a 5-star classic in my opinion. One of the best women's matches I've seen. Lyra and Becky have such good chemistry. And the fact they ran it back last night was like, okay. But the stipulation was, if Lyra beats Becky, Becky can't challenge for the Intercontinental title anymore as long as Lyra's the champion. And I was hoping for a Bayley return. I don't know where the hell Bayley is, but whatever. End of the day, though, Becky, I guess, she figured out she couldn't beat Lyra fair and square, so she rolled her up and grabbed the tights for the 1, 2, 3, and Becky Lynch is now the Intercontinental Champion. But that wasn't enough for Becky Lynch, was it? Nope. Becky Lynch had to embarrass Lyra Valkyria. She made her raise her hand a couple times, and she's like, all right, that's enough. She did it once, twice, 3 times, a lady. She did it multiple times. And then she's like, put the belt around me. Put the belt around my waist and put it on me. And Lyra just couldn't take it anymore, and she suplexed and gave the Nightwing to Becky Lynch and showed her that I'm not going to be made a fool of, even though she kind of was. But is this the end of Lyra Valkyria's journey and chasing the Intercontinental title? No, I think she'll get a rematch at some point. But where does Becky Lynch go from here? She got the belt that she never won yet. Now she has that. We'll see. I think there should be more women stepping up to challenge for this title. I think there's a lot of hungry women that are not in the main event scene that could fight for a mid-card title, and I think that opens up the door for a couple of women that now Becky Lynch has the title. Maybe other people can step up and challenge her too.
Lyra's better than me because I wouldn't lifted her hand. I would have been like, "Where?" That stipulation of raising your hand was like, you know, a fair and square kind of a thing. You cheated, so I don't need to do this anymore.
Okay, now I'm by myself now. So anyway. Then the men's Money in the Bank match occurred. My picks I wanted to win were LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and the winner that was, I'll get to that in a second. Because Pentagon winning would have been nice, but he just got there, so I don't know if that was a good idea. Who else was in that besides? Let's see. Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Pentagon, American Boy, and then who's the other person I'm thinking of? See, this isn't good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because it was, El Grande, whatever they call him.
Rollins. Pentagon.
Penta. LA Knight.
Yeah, Solo Sikoa.
Solo.
That's 5.
And
6. 6. 6. Let's work through this.
I'm looking up.
Thank you. Let's see.
5 steps from eternity.
Let's see. Seth Rollins. Solo Sikoa. LA Knight, El Grande Americano.
Oh my god. I know if anybody is watching this, they're probably like, oh my god, y'all, I know the answer.
And now as we're filming this, it's storming outside. You hear the rain hit our windshield, so there you go. Oh my.
Let's see. Okay, that's the woman.
Now it's raining. What? But as she's looking it up, Men's Money in the Bank match was fine. Had a lot of good spots in it. The one spot that I liked was it was towards the end, like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker came out to assist Seth Rollins, and then Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb, came to assist them, and then there was a brawl between those two teams, and then no one was around, everyone was down, and then Jacob sets up the ladder for Solo, and Solo's going to climb the ladder, but if you saw on SmackDown, Solo was talking to JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb,
Andrade.
Oh, damn it, poor I'm sorry, Andrade. Two people I forgot. Solo was talking to Jeff Cobb on SmackDown, and he was saying, like, Jacob's all gas, no brains. And then they did the typical thing. They panned away, and Jacob heard everything. So, at Money in the Bank, I guess... So, it was primed to grab the suitcase, briefcase, and then we heard the words that we were waiting for a while. He grabbed his leg, says, "I hate you, Solo." So that's a feud that's coming, Solo and Jacob. Thank you for looking that up, Andrade. I'm old, everybody. I've been around since the 80s. The 80s. I'm old. But yeah, Jacob and Solo, that should be an interesting feud and see what happens with the bloodline possibilities with that. So the winner was Seth Rollins with a lot of assistance from Breaker and Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman being out there. I don't mind, as much people say online they didn't like Seth Rollins winning. I don't mind it, but I don't know where we go from here with LA Knight. Maybe he wins the King of the Ring, because that's coming up tomorrow. King and Queen of the Ring starts tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Maybe that's where LA Knight wins something, because it's been a couple years. He's been the Money in the Bank, and everyone wants him to win because he's such a big star. He hasn't won it yet, and they give it to Seth Rollins, who already won it once. And again, I said to her, too, when you're Seth Rollins, you don't really need to have a briefcase. You're going to get a title shot anyway because you're Seth Rollins. You're such high on the pecking order. You're going to get a shot anyway. But that match was good. The only person I really didn't want to win was El Grande Americano. I'm waiting for this gimmick to end. I'm not sure when it's going to end.
Wrap it up.
I'm not sure what the payoff is. But, I mean, give props to Chad Gable for wrestling 2 matches in one night. He needs an ice bath fast.
What do you mean? Chad Gable only wrestled once.
Anyway, props to Chad Gable for wrestling twice. But, I've seen better men's Money in the Bank matches. There were some good spots here and there, but I think the main event was what everyone took away from the show, and we'll get to that in a second. But Seth Rollins winning was fine to me. I would have preferred LA Knight, in my opinion.
Yeah. I wish that Carmelo would have made it. I would have liked to see him.
Yeah, I like Carmelo.
But
shh.
What can you do?
Filming in a storm. We're sitting here and filming in a storm.
Some people might like the storm background. We can start whispering.
Oh, we're not doing ASMR content. She hates that.
I don't like ASMR. I don't like all the noises and stuff. It messes with my brain. No,
that's the tingles.
No yuck to anybody who does need that, because I understand that brains are just wired differently. My brain is wired to reject any of that. So.
Oh, right, basically. Then the main event, honestly, for the first kind of half of it, it was kind of like, I even said to her, let's wrap this up. I'm ready for this to end. I was kind of getting bored. Then I started to pick up the pace a little bit. Main event. Sorry, I should have mentioned what the main event was. It was Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso. Yeet versus John Cena and Logan Paul in the main event and Money in the Bank. Like I said, the first little bit of the match, I was kind of like, all right, let's kind of wrap this up. But then it started getting more, a little more energetic with Logan using the drone, and that superplex by Cody. That was a pretty cool spot. And then the moment that everyone's talking about, the moment that broke the internet, that everyone was fooled by, during the match, John Cena grabbed the WWE title and hit Cody Rhodes with it just like he did at Mania. And then all of a sudden, a man that was wearing, which they never do that. They never wear black hoodies.
Never ever do that.
Wearing a black hoodie, came and charged the ring and speared John Cena, started, taking him down, mounted punches. And then he got up, he took the hood off, took a mask off, and it was none other than R-Truth. We Want Truth movement worked. So props to you guys for We Want Truth. Best moment of the night for me, for sure.
For everybody.
Because the main event was getting kind of dull and slow, but Our Truth coming out was the best moment of the night, in my opinion. And then Cody and Jay picked up the 1, 2, 3. No threat of a cash-in, which I thought may have been there because they're both out there. Both Jay and John are out there, but maybe Seth's biding his time to figure out when he wants to cash in that Money in the Bank. But Our Truth being Money in the Bank was a great moment. Right now, Mac, you could see the emotion on people's faces when he came back. He's a much loved individual in the locker room and for the fans and the workers for WWE. So him being back is great. And now, technically, he's not Our Truth anymore. He's Ron Killings because they're releasing a shirt with him as Ron Killings. So we'll see what he goes for here. He could be on Raw tomorrow. We'll see what his evolution of his character is, but it's good to see Our Truth back. He's been there a long time, and he's a veteran of the business. He's been doing it in different promotions, WWE, TNA, NW. He's been around a long time, so I'll see what Our Truth does going forward with his character. But I'm excited. I'm happy that he's back, and it just shows that they listen to the fans sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why there was no cash-in. Maybe they want to leave it as a look, as an Our Truth is back moment.
I could see
what
that.
they won't do, Triple H, I'm talking to you. Listen, come here. Listen. What you won't do is sit here and play us and act like this was game all along. I'm not dumb. I wasn't born yesterday, last week, none of that. We knew that man lost his job, was fired, and you saw the pressure, and you heard the allegations. And Triple H said, oh no. And I don't know whose call it was, TKO, Hunter, both of them. Don't know, don't care. But what you aren't going to do is sit here and play in our faces like we're dumb. Because we're not. We recognize what it was. Mr. Did you enjoy the show? But okay. I just wanted you to recognize that we're not dumb. We know what time it is.
Time to play the game. So that was Money in the Bank. Going forward, we'll see what happens tomorrow on Raw with the King and Queen of the Ring. Jey Uso is taking on Gunther for the world title. We'll see what happens going from. But it's like the issue now with this whole TKO and WWE thing. There's too many shows. I mean, in 3 weeks you have Night of Champions.
It's too much. Too much content. Especially for us, like casuals. I consider myself a casual because they can take this. I don't care. But I've heard people say like TKO's kind of ruining the product a little bit. It's just it's too much. It's just too much. I don't need to see it this much. It's on too long. I get sleepy fast. It's just not my. I mean, I've been watching wrestling for a long time as well, since like I was a kid. Not as like consistently always watching it every single week, or probably watching it like as long as like you have. But it's been part of my life for like a long time still, and I just don't. I'm at a point now where I don't need it like that, especially with the allegations, So yeah, it's just I don't know, and it's hard for me sometimes to separate like the people and who they are and what they stand for and like the product at times. So I don't want to be like just watching a bunch of like gross people and just helping them get richer. I don't like Logan Paul for that reason. I don't care. I think that the world likes to reward mediocrity quite often, especially with like certain demographics. And so I think he fits that box very easily, unfortunately. And this world just rewards people like that. I don't see him doing anything too grand where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited by this. Ooh. No. So. But that's just me. Again, a casual.
And this has been A Moment by Alicia. Isn't she pretty, ladies and gentlemen?
Aww.
So now it's her time to shine.
Woo! Because
she got... So... The show we're about to discuss, she watched it last season, and I was kind of drifting in and out. I didn't pay attention to it, and then this year I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it with you, which made her very excited. And now is Alicia's time to shine. Take it away.
Real rap is back. Love Island, baby. Baby, we are so back, as the kids say. Woohoo! Yay! Love Island. Gotta love it. This is your first season watching the full thing. Mm-hmm. I warned him. I'm like, it's a commitment. Love Island. It is a commitment. It is a commitment because it comes on every day but hump day.
Which is kind of ironic.
And technically, no one watches Saturday. No one cares about After Sun at all. I mean, somebody does. All they do is talk about, like, they recap the week with some previous people who are on the show and show some clips that I don't care about. Doesn't matter. So, every day it comes on except for Wednesday and basically Saturday. And it is just delicious. It's a great show. It's wonderful when there's chaos and stress happening. So you just turn on TV and watch these like 22-year-olds who have nothing to do but just sit around at the pool and like make out all day. Yeah. So good. What did you think of first week done?
So first week of Love Island. Now I'm not going to lie. First episode, I was bored to tears. I was like, first of all, it didn't help that the show was 45 minutes delayed.
Oh my God, the delay. They have got us twisted. No macaroni in here. I was like, are you kidding me? Where is it? People were about to pull up to Peacock and be like, where are you?
But to be fair, I think, so Tuesday was premiere, right?
Yes.
I think Wednesday was a little bit late. I think maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But Thursday and Friday was up early.
Oh, yeah. They made last year though, we got so many days that were early. Like they always hit us with like 20, 30 minutes early. So I'm not impressed by that.
But I was like,
that don't impress me much.
Bonk. But I was watching the first episode. I'm like, this your show? This it? This is what it is? This your king? And first of all, like I said, it was 45 minutes late. And I was watching, I'm like, I don't know if this is it.
Episode 1, intros. No one is intros. Didn't even try.
Still. So episode 1, I was kind of like, all right, well, I'll watch it this week and see what happens. If I'm not into it, I'm not into it. Episode 2, I was into it. You know, it's the kind of the chaos with shows like, you know, reality shows. You watch the chaos, and it's just like, you know, these like she said, these 20-somethings are like on this show, and it's like you know what the show is, you know, this is work, and then like one guy's like, well, I don't know about talking to other people. It's like that's how the show is. If people are going to talk to other people, that's how you get to know other people on the show. And then the moment that'll stick out to my head for me was, I think it was Friday's episode was the fourth base thing.
Oh, they put the games. Yeah, I told them the games on Love Island get a little steamy.
Steamy.
They get a little steamy.
Surprised before they play the game wasn't a boom 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 boom. I swear, like, so what the game was, it was like getting to fourth base, something like that. Or,
yeah, they're playing baseball.
Yeah, and you know, they had to pick who they wanted to go. Like basically, like in love terms, like first base, second base, third base, and home going home, and they would like, you know, make out and grab a baseball by their mouths, and then, you know, make out again, and then dry hump somebody, and then suck on a popsicle, and I'm like, what is happening?
This is nothing. Just wait until they start eating stuff out each other's mouths.
That's unsanitary. Hopefully they wash their hands first.
Hopefully they wash their hands.
So I'm into it. I'll watch it for sure. I'll keep watching it. I'll say this much though. There's some people on the show that I think are on there for the wrong reasons.
Ooh. Someone watches a little Bachelor occasionally.
Yeah. We watch reality shows here. And I think someone's already gone. She'll explain that in a second. And then someone I think is going to go soon. And I think that, because they bring in different people periodically through the season. But again, I think some people go on the show just for social media attention and clout, and not for the actual reason the show is.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's proven that you go on these shows and you're going to get a big social media following if people like you. It's always how you come across. Either they like you, or if you are if you have the personality big enough and you're charismatic enough to be a good villain, people will follow you for that too. Because people think that, oh, I just can be a bad person and be a villain. No, that's not how that works. Like, the memorable villains in reality TV show history, like, you have to have that thing to be a villain. Everybody else, like, no. And so people definitely come on these shows just hoping that they're going to get, like, their sponsorships and their advertisements and their money up, which I get, get it back. But you got to give something. I'm not going to just follow you for no reason. But yeah, this season, I think it'll be interesting. I'm into it so far. I think a lot of people are coming into this season after watching the amazingness that was last season. Last season was so good. 0 notes, again, as the kids say. And
What kids?
The youth.
Say it like that. The youth.
And last season was so good. So I think a lot of people are coming in here. And I hope that they're just going to give it a fair chance because, like, last season was like lightning in a bottle. I don't think they're ever going to find a cast like that again. I don't think it's ever going to be to that level of good. If it is, that's awesome. But I'm not going to go in holding them to that expectation. People are already comparing people to people from last season. Unnecessary. So I just hope everyone gives it a fair chance. It's only week 1. We are in here for like 6 weeks, so everybody needs to buckle in. We got a lot to get to, a lot of games, a lot of switch ups, a lot of recoupling, Casa more. Ooh. So, like, you don't even know yet. You don't know, but welcome. I'm gonna get him one of the little water bottles with his name on the side.
I was laughing when you said buckle up. I thought of a story.
You thought it was a story.
So when you said buckle up.
Why?
So, side note, we got engaged at Disneyland in March of this year. And
the March of which year?
Sorry, March of
oh boy. Oh, okay. Of which year?
March of 2024. Wow, we're getting married that fast.
So we're getting married when?
November of 2025. this November 8th. So send your gifts now. No, we got engaged at Disneyland last year, and we didn't really know what the ride was. We kind of looked it up on YouTube. It didn't seem like it was that bad. So we ended up going on Radiator Springs, the ride the Cars ride in Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs.
And so I don't know why I did this as a kid, so I guess it just translated to when I was an adult. I put a seatbelt on. I put the seatbelt on like this, and I put the thing over like that. So when I was in the Cars ride, I put it on like that, and the thing got stuck. And I'm like, I'm stuck. I can't put it on. And I look at the attendant like, I'm stuck. I can't. She says, you can. And she looks at me like this. I don't know what look she had. I wasn't even paying attention. So
it's like, because he said, "Telling the lady," and I'm like, stop putting your seatbelt on that way. He does that to this day. To this day. Stop putting your seatbelt on. His mom has commented about this. Like, why are you putting your seatbelt on like that? And so he's like, I'm stuck. I can't get it. And she's like, yes, you can. He's like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. And she's looking at me. I'm like, don't look over here. Don't even look over here. I don't know him.
Oh, wow. We got to tell the engagement story at some point.
I was like, don't look over here, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But you figured it out. You got it. That ride was so funny. We don't do rides like that. Like,
we didn't know about the dips and the drop thing.
Because the people on YouTube, like,
you can't really
promise, on YouTube, if you watch reviews of look up Disneyland Radiator Springs in Cars Land, it doesn't look that bad. I'm like, oh, okay. And it goes slow at first. And so I'm just like, okay, this can't be too much. Lies. We were played. We got. We were screaming. There's children that go on there though all the time. Yeah. So it could just be us. Like I said, I'm a small world person. I like a nice chill. I like chill vibes. I go to Disney to eat, relax. Little Mermaid. nice calm vibes. So that's just not my usual kind of a ride. But
we survived.
We are here.
Still here.
We're here to tell the stories.
So,
yeah. So, I'm excited for more Love Island. Like I said, we are here for a while. Bachelor in Paradise comes back next month. And that's very, like, I think they tried to be like a Love Island, but it's just not. It's not at all. Love Island UK probably has started already, or it's going to be starting soon. It's harder for me to keep up with Love Island UK because you have to wait for it to be uploaded to Hulu, and they put them up usually in packages because, again, it's the UK. So it's not like we're getting it the next day. I think they usually give it to us like a few episodes at a time. So it's very easy for me to... I'll like miss it for a bit, and then I'll go on a few weeks later, and then they're like, "You're 40 episodes behind." I'm like, "Ugh!" And then I'll start watching it, and then it's like, "You gotta wait a week to watch these next episodes," and then the cycle just continues. So, but UK is probably the better version. It's the original, the OG. But
I like Bachelor in Paradise for the intro.
Paradise.
Wait, we might get demonetized. Don't say.
Oh. Knocking on heaven's door. Anything else?
I think that's what we consumed this week. Tonight is more Love Island, although the Tonys are on. We weren't going to watch the Tonys.
Yeah.
But ironically enough, so I believe it was last year we saw this?
Yeah.
So last year we saw a show called Death Becomes Her with Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. It was in Chicago. First I went to New York on Broadway, and it took off after one here. It did very well here. Then it went to Broadway, did very well there, and it's nominated for 10 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
It's better than the movie.
I don't think the movie was a musical, was it? The movie wasn't even a musical, was it?
No.
But yeah, it's exciting to see a show that get this much accolades, and you saw it before it took off. So that's been interesting. I know they're doing a thing with Hamilton, so we'll check it out. If it's not hitting, we'll switch over to something else. But that's kind of what's on the docket for this evening, and that's basically what we consumed this week.
Yeah, and I'll need to get back to my book at some point too, because I only have like 8 days left in Libby. If you know, you know. So, yikes!
I don't know, but I hear good things.
Yeah, so that was what we've been, kind of doing this week.
Yeah, and we'll do these videos every now and then to periodically check in with each other, see how we're doing, and just see what we've been doing. I mean, we watch a lot of stuff together, so the things we kind of consume together. It's nice to hear her perspective, my perspective, and about stuff like that. So I just like to check in.
Aw, yeah. I have to do like parental control, maybe. Make sure he's not taking anything too toxic. Nothing's hurting his little man brain. So
don't put parental locks on the TV.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't control. I don't want anyone starting that narrative. I don't control anybody.
Oh boy, don't put that out there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You're ridiculous.
See what happens?
You're ridiculous. Okay. Thank you for watching our video.
That's it.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Again, just like last time, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff somewhere on the screen. I don't know. I don't edit. I don't know how to do that.
Me either.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Subscribe to the channel for more. Leave a like, comment. Stuff is ramping up as far as reality television. We might do more stuff like that. Maybe some MasterChef at some point.
Oh, yeah. We love a cooking show.
Probably our next video, we'll see, because it's coming out this week, and maybe watch it this weekend, is our potential review of Snow White on Disney+. Now, it should be fun because, good Lord, the accolades it did not get are amazing, and I have a feeling we're going to laugh at it more than we're going to be like, it was bad. It's always going to be just a hilarious time.
Like, we'll have like drinks or something. We can do like a drinking roast.
We will. I think we'll do a drinking game every time something bad happens.
We'll just have like wine and we can talk about the movie or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
maybe I'll come on one day, like on myself too, and I talk about like wedding planning stuff, or I can talk more about books. I read a lot.
I can't read.
No, he can't read. What can you do? Oh wow. Hooked on phonics. Here we come. Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye.